You know, this is a late video. This actually occurred, the event we're going to talk about, back in April, toward the end of April. And I just now getting around to putting a video together of it. And it's not because I keep forgetting this. I've been busy, and you've seen that, I think, as far as getting some stuff out and hearing me complain about how I'm doing all the lawn work and stuff. But this is going to be one of those videos that are, well, kind of all over the place, maybe a little, because one thing leads to another, and then that leads to another, and it leads to another. So I'll try to connect that all for you so it's not quite so discombobulated, if you will. Let's start out with back in April of this year, I went to a baseball game. There was the Tigers against the Brewers. And my good friend, Joaquin Hendular, here's a picture of him. Here's his baseball card. Joaquin and I went to a game and had a pretty good time. We did everything you do when you go to a baseball game. We parked kind of right in front of the stadium. When you get up that close, they kind of inspect your car. Some guy just came up to me. He worked there, and he said, you want this? Do you want to put this in your car? And I looked at it, I said, isn't this the thing they give you when they inspect your car underneath their car in case there were some devices there? I'm not sure he checked my car. He just gave me this. I don't know. Then we went across the street, went up into the area in which you enter the stadium, and you used to have to go through these metal detectors, and people have you take things out of your pockets. And Joaquin didn't have to. He walked right past it. And I walked up and I said, do you want me to walk through there? And the guy says, yeah, if you want to. I'm feeling not so safe at that time. So I went through, and I didn't set off the alarm or anything, but there we go. Anyway, we went in, got our seats, and we were running kind of late because we got caught up in some traffic outside there because Tarek Skubal was pitching that day, so everybody in the lower peninsula of Michigan was there at the ballpark. But it was just one of those things where it seemed a little off-putting to not go through security the way we used to. And I'm not sure what that was. There were a lot of changes in the park, too. They changed my favorite seats in that area, the Tiger Den, where they used to have these separate seats where you could spread out and you have tables between each seat. Now they're all connected, and where there were 6 seats, there's now 10. So anyway, things change. But we had a good time, doing what you do at the ballpark, playing with filters on your camera like this, taking pictures, really nice pictures that Joaquin took of this, and just general fun, eating a lot of food, that sort of thing. And here is the final run of the game, because the Tigers had a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth with Spencer Torkelson. And listen for the crack of the bat. That thing just struck me as like that was the hardest hit ball he's ever had. And it was 3 games after that the Tigers went into free fall. Anyway, that's a different video. A day or two later, I was at his house, and he gave me something. Joaquin gave me this. It is a very well-used, well-loved book, the 1980 season, The Complete Handbook of Baseball. Now, if you're a person my age, and I guess Joaquin's age as well, you bought these every single year. Back in the early days, they were called dope books. I got a couple of early dope books from the Sporting News back in the early 70s. And it's just a bunch of things in here about players, what teams they're with, photographs of them, what they were doing last year, some projections in here, just a lot of simple stuff, records, the National League home run leaders, of all time, just all this kind of wonderful information that when there was no baseball, when this came out like in, I don't know, February maybe January of 1980, there's no baseball. But this got you to the games. It helped get you to the time when you can start listening or watching ball games. And I used to listen to a lot of games on the radio. I still do. But what I thought was, this is a cool book, and it's got some things right here that talks about things coming up, 1980. It says, would Joe DiMaggio make it as a manager? Pete Rose's Impossible Dream, or is it? Willie Stargell's All in the Family. If you knew what that was, that was the song by Sister Sledge that was being played all the time when the Pirates went on to win that World Series. Don Drysdale's TV's brushback announcer. I'll bet he did throw at people. They gave him any grief on the TV. Then some pop culture stuff here. Rating Gary Coleman in The Kid from Left Field and other baseball movies. A lot of really fun things in this book. And so I wanted to take a look at some things that really did happen in 1980 that this book couldn't possibly have known, because I picked out 3 things. They were pretty big things that occurred in 1980. I'm going to show you some of the cards from 1980, highlighting the things that I picked out. Then we're going to just let you savor a few 1980s cards, because 1980 had a beautiful set of cards. There's a lot of people who just got into the hobby at that time. And what a time to get into the hobby, because that was the time these cards just splashed onto the scene. They were such a beautiful card with a little ribbon at the top and a little ribbon or banner at the bottom. Real nice photographs. And it was the last year that Topps had the hobby all to itself. Because in 81, Fleer and Donruss came in, and then it was a threesome there. Then they added more with Score and Upper Deck, and Pinnacle later down the line. That was the last year that Topps had it all of themselves. And I want to show you some of the cards that that I found to be the most appealing cards from that year. Not all of them, just a few of them. And my 2 favorites, I will show you those as well. And then I want to show you another card set from 1980. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, we'll go over it in just a second. It is the 1980 pitch, hit, and run set from Burger King, I think. Yes, it's by Burger King. And these are 1980 cards, but they're not the exact same card used in the 1980 set. These are above and beyond. These are separate. They wanted to make a differentiation, I guess, of their regular, what we call now, base set, and this little set that little box set that they created. So we'll go over that real quick too, okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what really happened in the year 1980 in professional baseball. 1980s baseball was a great year. A lot of great things happened during that year, and 3 things I picked out. I think you'll say that, those were important. And one of them is about the team that won the World Series that year. And the other 2 are 2 different guys that set some records and pretty much ensured their way of getting into the Hall of Fame. And it was that year that cemented their future at the Hall. Okay, so what are these things? Nolan Ryan. It was on Independence Day in 1980 that Nolan Ryan recorded his 3,000th strikeout. He tossed just a few fastballs past Cincinnati Reds' Cesar Cedeno to become only the 4th pitcher in baseball history to reach the 3,000 career strikeout plateau. These are a couple of 1981 cards of Nolan Ryan. Say 81, it was the year after he set that record, so that's kind of an important thing. Or you could go back and get the 1980 card. That's pretty sharp too. As well as the Burger King pitch, hit, and run card, which we will see shortly. Now, this guy, pitchers just couldn't get out in 1980. George Brett flirted with 400 well into the season, not just for 2 or 3 weeks. He ended the season with a 390 average, but it was exciting to watch all year long. He was just a huge reason the Royals went to the series that year. Just an amazing thing he did that year. And here's just a few cards. That 390 average is kind of noted on his 81 card there from Fleer. And the 1981 card there for the AL Championship shows him on there, pretty much showing what he was doing most of that year and into the championship series. Here's a card that Upper Deck put out a while back. I think it was 1994, commemorating that. And what a great card set that is too. This team right here, won their first World Series in franchise history. The Philadelphia Phillies. It took them 98 years, but they clinched it in the series when Tug McGraw struck out Kansas City Royals' Willie Wilson. And this picture is something that if you're a Phillies fan, you know this picture of Tug McGraw jumping up on the mound. That is classic Tug McGraw right there. And then there's the 81 card there of the Phillies winning the National League Championship over the Astros. And there's Mike Schmidt taking the leap of faith into the team that he had played with for several years there, and went on with Pete Rose and Larry Boa and all the other guys who remained a pretty good team for another 2 or 3 years. So there you go. That is 1980s baseball. A lot of great things happened, and none of them were even hit on by that book. But it's still a pretty good book. 1980 was a great year for baseball cards. Look at the design. It's the bull here. Knuckleballer Joe Niekro. That jersey just speaks to me. Here's George Brett. I wish they were a better picture for that, but we'll have to do. Gary Carter, doing what he did best. There's Johnny Bench. What a great card that is. These cards are just beautiful. There's a lot of these kind of cards too in the batting cage and kind of that fake swing through. But there are a few in action, like Rick Sutcliffe here. I really do enjoy these cards. Like Ozzy's got a real nice swing through here. Of course, here's the Nolan Ryan card. That's the big one. People love this one. Dave Parker. I love this year. Absolutely with these cards. I've got 2 sets. Of course, here's the big card in that set. One is a VG to excellent. The other one is excellent to mint. It's the only card set I have that's like that. There's Biff. I just love that pose. That is cool. It's almost 3-dimensional. And Rick Miller, not known for his hitting, but it looks like he just hit a home run. Very nice card. These are my 2 favorite cards, Trammell being my favorite player, and Garvey there with the big stud arms. I think what's great about those cards is the helmets. They're beautiful cards. They are. Again, it was one of those things that I had to grow into as far as the beauty was concerned, because I took it for granted. Those were my 1980 cards. A lot of things going on in my personal life in 1980, and some of them not so good. So I have a real affinity for that card set. Maybe not so much that year, but that card set definitely. Anyway, let's do this real quick. This is the 1980 Pitch Hit and Run card set, offered to you by Burger King. Now, this is not the Vita Blue card that was offered in 1980, but notice it is the same style. Isn't that beautiful? Here's Carlton. It almost looks like Carlton's card from several years past. I think they used that image before or something darn similar to it. I think it's beautiful. Raleigh Fingers, I've seen that card too. That's a card that did exist. But they did change up a lot of these cards. Here's Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning. And you can see the little Burger King logo up there in the corner. Here's Jerry Koosman. Here's Phil Niekro, the knuckleballer and spitballer. Oops, said that out loud. Here's Jim Palmer. Here is the great J.R. Richard. I see him in any card right now. It makes me sad as to what happened. Here's a 1980 Nolan Ryan from the Pitch Hit and Run Burger King set. Tom Terrific. Here is Bruce Sutter. Don Baylor. This is George Brett. This is the exact same card they used in the 1980 set. And Rod Carew, also the same card. I think that might be the same George Foster, too. I'm not sure. Like I said, they're not all the same. And for those that really like rough cuts on the edge, you can see that these are a little miscut. I think they cut them with a jackknife at the factory. Here's Keith Hernandez. Here's Reggie Jackson. That is not the picture they used for his card. You've seen that just before in the little montage we just did. As was this Freddie Lynn. This Freddie Lynn is a nice card. I'm a Fred Lynn fan, and I think this is one of his best, but I like him in Tiger uniforms, but this is nice. Here's Dave Parker. This is the version, the photo that they used. Jim Rice. Here's Pete Rose. That is the same picture. Now here's Dave Winfield. This is not. This is a nice photo. It's another version of that photo. It's an up-close photo of him, as was the original card from 1980. Here's Bobby Bonds. Here's Enos Cabell. Cesar Cedeno. Julio Cruz. One-time jailbird, several-time All-Star, Ron LaFleur. Tiger Great. Here's the late Davy Lopes. Omar Moreno. Now, I love this Joe Morgan card. When I saw this, I kind of looked through these cards before I started showing them. It just hit me. He's not in the Cincinnati Reds uniform? That's Joe Morgan. I really like that card. Joe Morgan, to me, is just a great ball player. He's a Hall of Famer. He's everything that people say about him. And I loved watching him on Sunday Night Baseball with John Miller. But it got to the point where it seemed like he was mad all the time. He was just angry. And John's job was to tamp him down a little bit so he's not so angry. I don't know why he was angry, but maybe it could have been me. Here's Billy North. Here is Frank Taveras. And the final card is Willie Wilson, and that is the card used for Willie in the 1980 set. And that's it. That was the fun stuff going on in 1980. What a great year for baseball. Better year for baseball cards. A great gift from Joaquin Hendular. It was very nice. And just before we go here, I noticed in my latest comment section, Sean Henderson noticed this was all kind of bare up here, and he wondered, hey, what do you got going on? And yeah, I am going to be redoing that. I've got some more stuff to put up there. I'd like to maybe make you a part of that. Maybe ask for your input on some stuff. So be prepared to toss me some comments, all right? And thanks again, Sean, for noticing that. I appreciate that. Talk soon.